Hello, everyone. Today we are looking at knowing your audience. Before we do that, I earlier mentioned in class when we met face to face that if you had any questions, you could type it under the on YouTube in the comment section, and then I would answer with a reaction video. But what I realized was the questions were few, so I happened to respond to those questions on YouTube in the comment section. Today, before I start this lecture, I realized there are a few questions that people ask that have not been answered, and I would like to take a minute or two to answer these questions before we go on. Please be reminded that you can find this video in the school's LMS or the learning system. So if you do not want to come to YouTube directly, you can go there and then find it there. I have created a group discussion or a topic for discussion in the platform, and I have yet to see anybody comment on them. Remember that you're going to be giving marks based on your activity on that platform, because we cannot take attendance like we normally do. So attendance and class participation are going to be scored by the system as you interact with the school system. So please be mindful of this and use the school's LMS. If you're forgetting your password or how to log in, speak to the IT directorate. They will be too glad to help you. So, in answering the few questions before we begin today's lecture, Mensa Selassie says that if there are too many ads in 2 minutes, is it clutter? And when we say ad clutter, we're talking about having too many advertisements within a space of time. And I think I mentioned clutter in previous lecture where we talked about media platforms and their characteristics. And one of the characteristics of certain media platforms like television was clutter. And that was because a lot of people ran advertisements on these well-worn media platforms. Everybody knows TV, everybody knows radio, everybody knows newspapers. So everybody wants to run ads over there, and it creates clutter. So because of that, Selassie Mensah wanted to know if there are too many ads in 2 minutes, if it is called clutter. I do not understand why Selassie wants to know this. However, Selassie, in 2 minutes, adverts normally run for about 30 seconds, if it's television, for instance. So in 2 minutes, that would mean you would have about four advertisements, and I do not think it is too much of a problem. Where I see the problem is when there are too many advertisements or advert breaks in the program. Let me give you an example of what I mean. I was speaking to my mother. Yes, I call my mother. You should call your parents to check up on them. Yes, so I called my mom and we were having a conversation. I asked what she was up to, and she said she was watching television, but she was watching one of these Kunkumbaja programs, and she had served to another channel because they were running ads. And then she said it's because the ads were annoying and they were too frequent. It's like every 5 minutes or so they would run ads. So it became annoying. So there you are, Selassie. Sometimes it is not the number of ads in 2 minutes, but if there are too many ad groups within a 30 minute show. And I think I heard people say that about programs like Ifura and which one? I don't know if it was Kunkumbaja itself, but it appeared every 5 minutes or so there was an ad or there was some advertisements, and people felt the 30-minute show now had become 15 minutes or 10 minutes. And now people will feel they are not getting value for their time, and they might start shunning the program. And if they shun the program, it means that lesser and lesser people are watching or listening to your ad. I hope it helps, Selassie. Selassie also asked, is maximize when we talk about maximizing returns, is it only about money? Selassie, it depends on what you're focusing on. Returns is returns. So if your focus is on returns, then yes, maximizing returns is about money. If it's about image, then returns is about money. If it is about brand awareness, then your returns is about money, about brand awareness. So that's that's how it goes. So when I used maximizing returns, it depended on the situation, because if you there are PR students here, you would know that when we talk about PR, we are not looking at sales per se. The focus is on image and reputation. We directly look at that rather than sales. So when we talk about maximizing returns in that field, we're talking about image, reputation, you know, all that. But when we're talking about advertising too, advertising also has different objectives. And one of them is increasing sales, another is brand awareness. So if you're trying to increase sales, maximizing returns is increasing sales. And if you're targeting brand awareness, if your brand awareness increases, then you have maximized your returns. Basically, that's what I meant. Abna Jennifer wanted to ask a question. So she asked, can I ask a question here? And that was it. I said, yes, you can, but she didn't ask the question anymore. So Abna Jennifer, if you're out there, I'm waiting for your question. Although I gave about 3 or 4 days to ask a question after that, which I would not answer the question. I think I would give you the leeway to ask your question, Abna Jennifer. Stephanie Mensa wanted to ask if it was useful for a media planner to be part of the media creative or creative design team. Absolutely, Steph. Absolutely. More often than not, a lot of the things that media planners do work hand in hand with what creatives do. This is because they are all targeted at an audience. The media planner is looking at ideal media platforms to be used to reach certain people. The creative team are also designing messages targeted at the same people. So it is ideal when they work together because they all have information per the nature of their job. They all have information on the audience. So their audience knowledge would really come into play here. So it is advisable and it's healthy when they work together. If they don't, sometimes what happens is the creative or the message may be designed in such a way that if you put it on a particular platform for a particular group of people, it may not really gel because the media planner knows about media platforms, how messages should be presented on those platforms because of their knowledge of media. So when they work hand in hand, it's fantastic. So normally when you're talking about media planning, you often hear advice that comes in the form of creative, as in it's like you're advising the creative team, but it's a media planner you're advising. That's because they often work hand in hand, and it's best that they work hand in hand to bring out the best. Thank you for the question, Stephanie Mensah. Eunice Bar Eunice Ban wanted to know the entrepreneurship aspect of this course. Eunice, if you want to know how you can make money with this course, then basically, first of all, you have to listen to this lecture and listen to the previous lecture, listen to the other lectures that would come, ask questions that would help clarify your understanding. And then, yes, you can make money out of this. You see, in the business world, like here in Ghana, you can be a media planner. That is, if you have connections in the media and you have knowledge about media planning, you can have a partnership with organizations. Organizations often don't have media buyers. So what happens is when they don't want to contact an advertising agency, all they do is, let's say they call Daily Graphic and then they say, hey, we want to run this ad. And then Daily Graphic says, this is how much we charge. That's it. And then they pay. But when you're a media planner and you have connections or agreements with these media houses, what happens is you tell them, I'll bring you clients. And then this is the discount you give to me. So when you go to a certain company and you say, oh, Daily Graphic charges 2,000, but I can give it to you for I can get it for you for 1,900, for 1,800 CDs. They say, okay, that's fine, we'll do it. Meanwhile, you've spoken to Daily Graphic and then you have told them, hey, I can you give it to me for 1,500 when I bring you clients? They say, okay, fine. If you bring us a lot of clients, of course, we can do that for you. So that's the agreement. So whenever you do this thing, you are helping the organization who's running the ad save some CDs, and then you're also pocketing some CDs. But apart from just going as a messenger and saying, hey, Tesomame, that kind of thing, you remember you're also a media planner. So you are helping organizations decide which media platforms best suit their their product or their service or their ad. Let me say their advertisement. So yeah, that is how you can make money out of what it is that we're learning today. So yes, in other jurisdictions where advertising is more developed, there are clear different roles for advertising media planner, for media buyer, for creative. But in countries like ours where it is still developing, you realize the developer, the creative person may also be a media planner and then a media buyer or a media, that kind of thing. So when you go to advertising agencies, you might see a few people doing almost everything. That's how it is like. But when your expertise is in media planning and buying, yes, you can still make money out of it. You can be in an advertising agency and what you'll be doing is you are the media planner and buyer of the agency. So that's your core duty. And you can also set up your own company and then all you do is media planning and buying for organizations. I hope this is clear for you, Eunice. If you have any further questions, please do get in touch. If you want to understand, if you are starting a business in this field and you need more details, you can get in touch with me and then we can talk some more. Right. So now let's look at today, knowing your audience. After what we've talked about, the very good questions that our colleagues have asked, it has thrown us into the importance of audience. Now, remember that it is important to know your audience because there is saturation or information overload today. You're not the only one thinking of running ads on TV or radio or Facebook or Twitter or wherever. You're not the only one. Lots and lots and hundreds and thousands of advertisers are also looking at the same medium. So, because of that, clients or customers are receiving messages every day. Now, when you are able to know your audience and you know what they know or what they expect or what they like, all those things, it helps you be able to target platforms that they are likely to be there, platforms that they are likely to receive your messages better, at which times they are even likely to receive your message better. Because remember, when you're a media planner, you're not only planning as to what media platforms, but even the times of the day that the ad should be seen by people. You understand? Again, personalized messages are better. Personalized messages are better. When I say personalized messages, what I am referring to is messages that resonate with the audience. Yeah, you see, I told you when we are talking about planning, sometimes design comes in. Messages that resonate with your audience. So, as a media planner, if you want messages that resonate with your audience, sometimes it may be through the platform that you're using. Yeah. There are some people who may be on Facebook. They might see an ad and not pay attention to the ad because the time they spend on Facebook is normally when they just want to go there to make some comment, one comment or the other. Maybe if it was in a magazine, then they would take their time to listen or read. If it was in newspaper, maybe they would react to it differently. So when I say personalize your media selections, what I mean is have enough knowledge about your audience such that you will be able to know which media platforms are dear to them, where you can easily find them and send your message to them. And of course, if the media platform you selected is not ideal and the time is not ideal, it could be annoying to the people. And if you want to sell something to someone, the first thing you don't want to do is to annoy the person. As Jehovah Witness people, one of the challenges they are having is there's this perception that they are annoying. So as soon as they knock on somebody's door and it says, "Hey, it's Jehovah, oh Mukra," and you don't want that. Yeah. Because when people find you annoying, they often block what it is that you have for them, even if it is good news. Yeah. Okay. So it's because of some of these reasons that you need to know your audience. Now, there's target audience and target market. Now, you often come across these words when you're reading about media planning, advertising in general. They are different, but they are often used interchangeably. Police no go catch them. But just for shaggy reasons, I want you to be clear on their differences. Do you remember when you were in primary and you were learning about sets, universal set and subset and all that crap? Yes. Picture this. Look at the diagram over here. Now, if you understood sets well, looking at the diagram alone would give you an idea of the difference between target market and target audience. You can see that the target market is the universal set and the target audience are the subsets in the universal set. So bringing it to reality, if you're selling, if you're Toyota and you're selling cars, your target market could be people who have the financial wherewithal to purchase your car. But the target audience, so remember, you realize that the target market is large, it's huge. Anybody who has money to buy your car is your target audience, is your target market. However, inside your target market are different groups of people with different personalities, different ways of thinking, etc. And you need to group them so that you know this is how I will reach this audience, this is how I'll reach that audience. So basically, how. So you see the target audience are the mini circles within the target market. So that is the main difference. Although, as I mentioned earlier, it is often used interchangeably, target market, target audience. So in my conversation with you today, I may also use it interchangeably, but know that when I talk about it, I am meaning target audience or target market. When I want to be specific, I will be specific. You know what? For our lecture purposes, let us use target audience to mean target audience as seen in the diagram, and let us use target market to mean the whole thing so that confusion doesn't come. Yeah? Okay. So now we know this. Let us try to understand why we need to even segment our market so that we have the different target audiences as just explained. So, audience segmentation. Now, remember that every human being has demographics, has psychographics, and has behavioral differences. And these are what marketers or advertisers use to plan their design, their media, whatever. Now, when I talk about demographics, that one you often have come across demographics. So when we are talking about demographics, we are talking about age, we're talking about gender, location, status. When I say location, I mean geographic location. Talking about economic status. Those are the things we refer to as demographics. Now, one would ask, so if I know the demographics of my audience, how does it help me as a media planner? An example, as a media planner, if you have an idea of the age of the kind of people who will be purchasing your product or service, don't you think it will give you an idea probably of the kind of media they engage in or engage with? If a product is for elderly people, people 40s, late 40s, 50s, these are people who over the years are used to getting information from what we now call the traditional media, just TV, radio, newspaper. So if you want to reach out to them and you use Twitter and Facebook and those kind of media platforms, your chances of reaching them, of course, is minimal. You understand? Aha. So that's one example why you need to understand or know your audience's age. Gender is also a factor. If you know that, as for this product that I'm selling beads, and beads are often worn by this gender or that gender. So these are my target gender. It can help direct you as to which media platforms will be good for them. If you're targeting, let's say, elderly women who are 40s, 50s, and you're looking at, again, social media in the mornings, this is a time when they're trying to get um, things together to prepare for work. Yeah, women who have children, that's the time they are trying to prepare for work, doing oats. Hey, where's my Tom Brown? Hey, this, that. So if you run your ads in the mornings, you know you're not going to get them, because that time they make what. So you see how knowing demographics of an audience can help you be better able to target them using specific media platforms and specific times. When we talk about psychographics, we're talking about the mind, psychology, yeah, psycholinguistics. When we talk about psycho, we are talking about the mind. So when we move from demographics to psychographic and we say talking about the mind, what were we talking about? We're talking about knowing your audience, their lifestyle, for instance, is part of what we look at when we are talking psychographic. You look at their interests. These are some of the things we talk about when we are talking about psychography. We look at their activities. Let me give you an example. This one, I think it will fall under interest. Mac, MacBook, Mac, Apple, Mac. They have this group of adverts. They call it Apple versus Mac. So when you're free, go to YouTube, type Apple versus Mac adverts or commercials, and it's a whole ad set with different short advertisements about Apple and Mac. Now, what Mac seeks to do is they are just comparing themselves to PC, like Windows PC, and showing how they are better. So it's two people having a conversation. One person is Mac and the other person is PC. It's an interesting group of advertisements. You laugh if you understand computer small. You get the points that they are trying to make. And you see, the ads from the design stage is targeted at people who are young and tech savvy and want to make a decision as to whether they should go for PC or Mac. Aha. So that is what advised them during the creative process. And then when they came to the media planning process, they would select media platforms that the kind of people, youth who purchase it, maybe I don't know who they targeted. I mean, when I say who, the age group, that's the demographic. But at least looking at the adverts, you know the psychographics, as in they looked at people with interest. How do I know this? Because of the kind of conversation they had. A lot of people, there are people who want to buy a computer and then they say, "Chale me any computer I like." And there are those who would want to know specifically, can this do this? Can this do that? You know, those kind of people. And those are the kind of people that Mac targeted with their PC versus Mac group of ads. So that's one advantage, because they know this target audience take these decisions based on ABC. So let me target them this way. Yeah. Now, another area of psychographics could be, I think I mentioned, lifestyle. The lifestyle of the rich is different from the lifestyle of the poor, obviously. I mean, if let's take Kwame as a rich guy. No, well, Kwame, no, Derek is the rich person over here, of course, obviously. And then let's say Mensa Selassie is the poor person. Now, Mensa Selassie wakes up in the morning, he's rushing, to Selassie could be male or female. So if you're a she, forgive me because I know your names are gender neutral. So Mensa Selassie, he or she would get up around 4 a.m., go to take a shower, wants to join the bus because if he doesn't hurry up, or he or she doesn't hurry up, he will miss the bus going to Sek or Accra, enter traffic, go to the office at 8 a.m., you know, probably does not even have breakfast. Gets to the office maybe around 8:39. You see if you can get some tea or cocoa tea and we drink. And then in the afternoon, you know, Selassie Mensah will go and chop some fufu, heavy one. And after that, Selassie Mensah will not eat again. Enter Totro in the evening, we'll get home and then eat, let's say, Banku and something at night and go to bed and then repeat the process. Derek, the rich person, also has a different lifestyle. Derek wakes up at 7 a.m. because he owns his own company or he's a top level manager in the company. He wakes up at 7 a.m. or at 6 a.m. He puts on his jogging gear and he goes jogging until, let's say, 7 a.m. His neighborhood, likely to be Adenta, is all tarred. The streets are all tarred. So when he goes for jogging on the streets, he doesn't twist his ankle like those who live at Nungwa, Teshin, Amasama, Pukwase, all those non-residential areas. So he goes for jogging. He finishes. He calls his driver. I'm ready. Takes a shower, has his breakfast. He sits in the back of the car, and then he'll start working. He gets to the office. PA says, "Boss, please, you have some tea." That's all right. He has his tea, and then at lunch he'll go for lunch at, let's say, Kempinski, and then go for a buffet thing. Eats a whole lot of stuff, and then maybe around 2 3 p.m. you'll have afternoon tea, and then maybe around 4 p.m. he will close from work, maybe go play some golf. Sometimes he does it on weekends. So you can see that Derek's lifestyle is totally different from Mensa Selassie's lifestyle. Now, if you know your audience and you want to get them the platform to reach them, knowing my lifestyle should tell you that if you put an ad on radio at time A or time B, I am likely to hear. Knowing Selassie Mensah's lifestyle will let you know if you put an ad here or there, Selassie Mensah is likely to. Somebody who is driving a vehicle may be less likely to see or watch signboards or billboards by the roadside than somebody who is being driven. Maybe a person is in Trotro like Selassie Mensah or a chauffeur driving like Derek. You understand? So the person is likely to be looking around and seeing your ad and paying attention to your billboard than somebody who wants to beat traffic lights and step on an accelerator. You understand? If you want to target Selassie Mensah and then you go and place your ad on maybe a billboard near a golfing area, maybe Achimota Golf Club, you go and place your ad there. Selassie has no business there. But Derek, of course, Derek does. So if the product is something that Derek will be interested in, of course, then those places are ideal. So now you see why you need to know the psychographics. Now, another reason you may need to know psychographics, or another example of psychographics, are pain points. When in advertising we talk about pain points, we are talking about what exactly is worrying somebody that will let the person come to purchase your product or service. Now the question is, but me, media planner, they have finished the design, they have finished this. Why is it important to me? Good question. Now, if you ask that question, the answer will be this. When you know what makes people patronize your product or service, it helps you know when to even show your ad to them. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Let me give you an example. If you have been on a motorway, There are certain mechanic shops on the motorway. You may not see them, but let your car break down. In 20, 30 minutes, a mechanic will approach you. Now, how do they do this? They know that the kind of people who timing, see, planning, the kind of people on the motor, people, cars will break down, and people will only need their services when their cars have broken down near the motorway, in and around the motorway. If not, they probably have their own mechanics that they will go and show it to. So what they often do is small time, then they'll come and look down, up and down the road to see if somebody's car is broken down. And then if that has happened, they approach the person, Charlie, can I help you? Blah, blah. How do I know this? Because a couple of weeks ago, it happened to me. My car broke down on the motorway. And a few minutes later, some guy approached me, mechanic. He said, oh, Charlie, this one, pa, 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 pa. And then he helped me fix it. And I said, so where were you going? Were you going to buy a watch or something? And you saw me. He said, oh, no. That's what they do because people have challenges on the motorway and there's no shops around there. So what they do is occasionally he comes to check to see if the car is broken down on that stretch. And if it's on that stretch, you approach the person, help, and then you can get some no fuel. So when you know that thinking of somebody, the pain points, at what time, how your product fits into their life, you understand? Then you are able to know when to meet them with your advertisement. Because if I had met this mechanic somewhere around Adenta and says, oh, Charlie, me, I know the team, blah, blah, I would say, Charlie, it's none of my business. But when he approached me when I needed it, so sometimes when you know how people behave, I'm adding behavioral to this. When you know how people behave, it lets you better able to know when even to target them. There are some people who are spendthrifts or impulse buyers. They see something they like, they'll buy then. Or if they have 200 CDs and the thing is 190 Ghana, as long as they have 10 CDs to pick car home, they will buy. And there are those who say, let me think about it for a week or two or a month or months. There are those who say, I didn't plan for it in this budget. Let me wait next month or next year. These are all psychographic analysis of buyer behavior. Yeah, how people think. And when you know this, you better be able to know how to reach them. So let me give you an example. You may go to a mini mart and then you purchase everything that you have to purchase. And then when you're leaving at the counter, you see gum, or you see, of course, condom, or you see chocolate. And then you say, hey, you toss it in. Let me buy this too. Now ask yourself, why do they always sell the toffee, gum, chocolate near the counter? Research has showed them that a lot of impulse buyers buy these things when they see them. And this is the point of payment. You have money, you are removing the money. At that time, you are removing the money. You are buying whatever you came to buy. So the chances that you see chocolate and say, you know what, hey, give me chocolate. Hey, Snickers. It's been a while I tasted Snickers. Toss it in. Or condom. Let me protect myself. Toss it in. You understand? Aha. And sometimes the reason they put CDs there too is because sometimes it is difficult for people to pick it off the shelf. But when it is closer, it just winks at the lady at the counter or the gentleman at the counter and says, Charlie, Fabakutum. Nobody will see it and then you just take it away. So you see the thinking behind why they are placing certain products or advertisements at certain points, even in the same mall or shopping place. Aha. So that is how, when you have psychographic data on your audience, it can help you as a media planner. So take for instance, I don't know if you have seen the new fun ice or fun milk adverts. The company is Fun Milk, I think, or Fun Ice. I think it's Fun Ice. Yes. So you see a mate, and then they say, I don't know if you've seen it, where this mate, somebody asks, "Hey, Charlie, long time. So what do you do now?" Right now I am a. He gives this long description of his job, and then the friend says, you are a mate. He said, yes, I'm a mate. I'm an economic something something. I decide between the conductor and the people, the economic benefits, some plenty English. The tintin in the TTM, I say the person is a mate. And then they have different sets of that advertisement. And one advertisement to somebody goes to meet his girlfriend's family, and then the father is saying, "What do you do?" Then he also talks plenty English, and then the long and short of it is meton famek or fanice. Now, why are they coming out with these advertisements? You see that they are talking about somebody who sells fanice. They are talking about a mate. They're talking about, I don't know. You probably know, or you probably don't know, but you can analyze their advertisements to ask ourselves, why are they showing this kind of ad? Who are they trying to target? You understand? Aha. If they are trying, they're talking about mates, maybe they have done some research to find out one of the groups of people who often buy their product are mates. And they want to let them know they have not forgotten them. They are doing ads to let them know, Charlie, you too, you are a guy. How often do you even see advertisements looking at, let me, if we can call them lower class people on the economic ladder, somebody who is selling farm milk? So if you see an ad and they are being talked about, or and fear, they're going to even marry, because normally when somebody is selling farm milk and all those things, you think a lady will not even be interested. But you see how they are presenting it. So they may be trying to encourage them koso. You understand? They have added humor. They may be trying to target a lot of young um, audience. With the social media audience, memes and jokes and funny things that are interesting, often catch them and get them talking. Maybe they want to get them talking. Because one of the jokes that often we hear in Ghana is when maybe somebody is asked, what do you do? And then the person talks plenty. Or maybe Gary and beans, they will talk about when they are describing what the Gary and beans is made up or made up of. Talk about cassava flakes and something, even oil, the English they will use to describe the oil. Those jokes already. So they want to play around it to get people talking about their product on social media. So it could be anything, but it depends on, of course, the data that they have gathered. It could be psychographic, it could be demographic, it could be behavioral, whatever it is. Those are the things that guide the adverts they make, and then that guides the platforms that they choose to use for their advertisements. Sometimes, I'm talking about behavioral, sometimes a customer may be a loyal customer. There are people who will buy something today, they will say, oh, it's nice, but tomorrow they will not really go looking for it to buy it. If they find any substitute, it's fine with them too. There are those who are loyal. When they are loyal, meaning if they buy this today and then they like it, they will buy it again the next time, and that's it. They are yours. These groups of people also have a way you can advertise to them. You understand? We have something called buyer's remorse. Yeah. Buyer's remorse. That's somebody buys something and the person starts feeling, hey, this thing crowd that I bought, is it useful? Is it good? Is it One way that advertisers use to get rid of buyer's remorse is they try to reinforce in the buyer that what you bought is a good thing. And a lot of the times, the adverts you see on television are targeted at that. Sometimes you see a company, they're running an ad about an award they received and blah, 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 just so that people will feel, if they have received these number of awards, they're a car manufacturer, they have received these number of awards, then their car must be good. You understand? Now, as a media planner, why is knowing buyer's remorse, knowing about loyalty important to you. Because when you know buyer behavior, when you know that the loyal people, this is how they purchase. Maybe they purchase it once a week, they purchase it twice a week, they purchase it every month, they purchase it this and that. You know when to place the ads, where to place your ads. If the ad is to encourage them to keep buying, when are you placing the ads? Is it morning, afternoon, evening, Christmas time? Where? So that your loyal customers, where can you find them? These are all important in audience segmentation. Now, you can see in-market audiences build a persona, SEO, location-based. Now, your question might be, we've been talking about getting correct data and all those things, but what about the rest? Now, the rest were put there to help you have an idea of how to segment your audience. Because I've talked about segmentation of audiences for a while now. So let's say you decide, okay, I want to segment my audience. How do I go about it? One of the things you can do is look for in-market audiences. Now, in-market audience over here refers to people who are already in the market looking for your product. So if you sell toothbrush, in-market audience are people who are looking for toothbrush to buy. If you sell, what kind of product do students often sell? Well, I've talked about beads, so I'm looking for another example that will bring things home. If you sell Tom Brown, I like Tom Brown because I sell Tom Brown. If you like Tom Brown, who are your in-market audiences? These are people who are looking for your product to buy. So remember, these are not people who need convincing to buy the product. What they need is convincing to buy your brand, but not the product itself, because they're already looking for it to buy. So those can be a segmented part of an audience. The question is, how can I even know those who are looking to buy? Thankfully, we have SEOs, like Google search engines. Yeah. Aha. Google has display search. They have keyword search. So I think maybe in one of the lectures we will talk about this. But generally, keyword search may be, if you sell Tom Brown, you can place an ad with Google and say to Google, whenever anybody types, where can I get Tom Brown to buy in Ghana? Or I want Tom Brown. Or what ingredients should Tom Brown contain? Anything that has to do with Tom Brown, they should show your advertisement to that person. So that's how come when you Google something, you see adverts come. The first three or four maybe adverts until the rest, which are not necessarily adverts that are seeking your attention. But yeah, so you see that they have been able to segment or target a certain audience, not a target market, target audience. And one of their target audiences is people who are looking for the product to buy. And how do they reach them? By using search ads. So when they search any keyword that has to do with the Tom Brown, their ads will be shown to them. So you see the timing, the media selection, and the timing of the ads. It makes sure that whenever the ads are shown, they are shown to people who are looking for the product, not just killing. So you don't waste money. Yeah. And you see remarketing there. Remarketing is a term used to given to the process where you re-advertise your product to people who have been to your website or to your page or wherever. So sometimes you realize that maybe you go to Tonaton or Gigi, you go and look for a shoe or a bag, and then you come to Facebook, and then you see the ads again in Facebook. There's probably even the same company telling you they have ads. You often maybe you visit Alibaba, that one too. You start seeing the ads wherever you go. Again, that is remarketing. So when you go on websites and then they ask about cookies, that is what they use it for. Cookies are information that they pick from your browser. So it gives the website an idea of where you have been going, the places you have been searching, places you visit. When you visited their website, what did you click on? All those things. Give them data on you and your behavior. So if you spent a long time on the website on a page that has bags, it gives them an idea that maybe you're interested in bags. So you move from the website, you go somewhere else. Maybe you're on Joy or Ghana Web reading news, and then in between the news items, you will see their bags being advertised to you. That is remarketing. So those are some ways that you can use to segment. So you say, okay, these are in-market audiences. That's one segment. How do I reach my in-market audience? Remember, you're a media planner. How do I reach my in-market audiences? Okay, I can do it by search ads, or I can do it by remarketing, or this or that. The next way you can segment your audience is to build a persona. When we say build a persona, what we are trying to say is, imagine your audience, imagine your target market, who are the kind of people who would like to buy. Imagine just one of those people and tell us a story about the person. So with beads, for instance, maybe or maybe a wristwatch. Now let's give another example: a wristwatch. Now with a wristwatch, you ask yourself, I sell wristwatches, or I sell perfumes. Yes, perfume. Perfume is one of the common things students sell. I sell perfumes. Now, let me develop a buyer persona. Let's see. My perfumes are unisex. So let's say this buyer is a male. But male, you can be between the, no, 18 years. My perfumes cost from 500, 400 cities above. 18-year-old person in Ghana, unless the person is despite son, he may not be able to purchase 500 Ghana perfume. So let's say Kwame is about 25 years old, 26-year-old, 28-year-old. He's working in an organization. Salary. Kwame receives about 3,000 cedis to 5,000 cedis a month. Now, you see, you are building a person. It's like you know the person, Philly, and you are describing the person. That's how you build a persona. Kwame likes to smell good. Now, because he likes ladies to approach him, or he likes to approach ladies, and he has realized ladies like men who smell good. So Kwame always likes to smell good. Kwame doesn't like using one perfume. He doesn't like smelling the same all the time. So Kwame likes to purchase about 3 or 4 different kinds of perfumes. Maybe one with a woody scent for when he's going to the office. Another with a flowery or fruity note for when he's going to the beach. Um, so you are describing Kwame like he's your brother, yeah, or your friend. So you describe him. When you do that, you describe his demographic. Kwame stays around this place, that place. You have described the person with the demographic. So you're giving an example of a typical person who will purchase your product or your service. So in this case, your perfume. Why is it important to do this? When you do this, you have built a prototype of the kind of people who will be purchasing your ad. So with Kwame, for instance, we know Kwame works in an office building and he earns between 3,000 to 5,000. Let's say Kwame drives to work because he has a car, and he buys fuel once a week. All these things are important. Now you ask yourself, why do I even need to know how much Kwame earns? Of course, you know that then it would mean he may be able to purchase this number of perfumes a month or a week or a quarter. Why do I need to know where Kwame works, the kind of work Kwame does? If you know Kwame is in the corporate industry, you may know that then if I want to target Kwame, what if I hear that there's this corporate event and they are allowing advertisers to be there? Wouldn't this be a good place to target Kwame and people like Kwame? So it means that if they are having this trade fair and they are selling clothing and laptops and things that Kwame, based on your persona, Kwame is likely to be interested in, then when I go there, I may find Kwame or Kwame types there, and they may purchase my product. Remember, you're a media planner. And when we talk about media, people think it's only TV, radio, newspaper, but even place where they will go. Should I go and put a banner here? Should I go and put a billboard here? Should I distribute flyers here? All those things are based on these things that you think are petty, but they're very important. And they save you lots of money so that you don't waste money doing shirai. You think, oh, this product is for everybody. I sell perfume. Perfumes are for everybody. So, no. As soon as you say that to a discerning client, they know that, they see that in top. That's what it says. So no two customers are the same. No audiences are the same. Group them according to audiences. Have a build a persona, and then ask yourself, with this persona, how can I target him or her? Another person may like perfume, but this person buys only one kind of perfume. Maybe you call the person John or Akuya. Akuya buys the perfume once every 3 months when it finishes. Akuya does not like to spray perfume plenty. If spray one, and then Akuya stops because Akuya doesn't want the perfume to finish. Akuya, you just like you did to Kwame, you describe the person. Somebody might think, Ejuma Beni. But when you know the person well, just like you know your mother or your father or your brother, you know what makes them tick. If you are selling perfume to your brother, you know what to say. You know when to sell it to the person. You know where to sell it to your brother or your sister or your father or your mother or your friend, because you know them. And that is what you should know, or you should do with your audience. Know them, and then you reap your rewards. I think SEO is already talked about, search engine optimization. And another way you can segment your audience is location based. Yeah, you can do location based segmentation. Remember, I said I'm giving you ways by which you can segment your audience, which is your target markets, group them into target audiences. So another way is location based. So you can say, I'm looking at audiences living in executive areas like Adenta or East Legon or Airport Residential now, or maybe Nungwa or Amasaman, or is it Amasaman or Oyarafa. And all these depend on the kind of product or service that you're selling, of course, and then what it is that why you feel if it is location based, it will sell. Yeah. If you have certain products that are about motorbikes, there are certain neighborhoods in Accra where people enjoy using motorbikes. So if your advertisement is location based, you know that the chances that they would see and approach you is high, because they like motors, they like using motors. You understand? So that is how location based works. So there are different ways by which you can segment your audience as a media planner. I've just given you a few, and I'm hoping that you go read more about segmentation of audiences and how you can segment them, so that if I give you something to do, and you can be able to impress me. Now let's recap. Remember that analyzing your product or service is important to your media planning and buying duties. Why is this important? Remember, we talked about psychographics and behavioral, and then we talked about pain points, and then we talked about how or what it is that you are offering, what benefits you are offering to someone. So when you know much about the product or service and its benefits, not its features, its benefits, it will also help you better be able to target people who are looking for those kind of benefits. Now, sometimes when we talk about benefits and features, even though this is not a sales class, when we talk about benefits and features, people often confuse them. Let me give you an example. Mobile phone. A feature of, let's say, a mobile phone could be it can make calls. Maybe when you're making calls and your data is on, when you're browsing, your data is on, and a call comes through, the data does not cut. You can still be browsing whilst you're talking on the phone. Not all phones can do that. Another feature can be It has a what 24 megapixels camera. These are features, but the benefits is with that feature of what use is it to the person. That's the benefit. So if it has a 24 megapixel camera, what's the benefit? It helps you take clearer, fantastic photos. If it has 57 gigabytes memory, and so what? That is a feature. What's the benefit? It allows you to record lots and lots of videos. So in your design, when you want to talk about it having 50 something gigabytes of memory, remember that one, it is when you are targeting, what do they call these people? Tech savvy people. But when the person is not too tech savvy, but the person would also still need space, just focus on benefits. And more often than not, focusing on benefits is better than focusing on features, because people are sometimes often not able to link features and benefits. So when you as an advertiser tells them the benefits, it's straight to the point. Now, when you as a media planner, you know the benefits of your product, you'll be better able to again plan. So let's again use the camera example. Feature 57 megapixels, we don't care. Benefit, it allows you to take beautiful photos. You understand? Um, the the memory size is 100 gigabytes. What do we care? Because it allows you to save lots and lots of videos for your, so you can do a lot of Instagram and TikTok videos and you will not run out of space. Now, as a media planner, such information, of course, as we have talked about, it can help you. As in, they are doing something like Chalewati. You can go there, display your photos that you have taken with the camera, and then people will like, so this is how So when you know the benefits, you are able to know what people, what will click or what will move people to purchase your product. And then it helps you know at what point in the buyer decision or buyer journey would they want to know more about what it is that you are selling. Yeah. So sometimes when you know a benefit, it can even help you decide whether you should do media placement. Yeah. Where rather than do advert, you go and see Shelly from Pomans when you say, Charlie, Shelly, we sell these chocolates, and because of ABC, we have realized we want it to be in your movie. So Shelly is okay, that's fine. And then you pay Shelly, and then you see in the movie, you see Jackie Appiah eating chocolate, the chocolate brand, or using the phone camera. He says, wow, this the camera is good, really? Yeah, this, that. And then you'll have a conversation about it, just like it's part of the movie. But then, so all these things come together to help you as a media planner decide what platforms are best for you. So, which kind of people have a need that your benefit fulfills? Have you asked yourself that as a media planner? So, if these are the benefits, who are the people who would need these benefits? Another way to segment your audience. What is their age group? We've talked about that. What are they searching for? Why will your product or service be good for them? We've talked about all these things. So, that's why I said it's a recap. Now, in summarizing, I want to give you an assignment. Well, assignment one says select any Ghanaian product or service of your choice, identify the target market, and 5 different target audiences. The deadline is 21st February. It's a group assignment. This is the first assignment, and then you see the second assignment also over there. So, 21st February, I expect the class rep to put you into groups, minimum of 10 in a group. No, I think just put about 10 people in each group. 10 in a group, class rep. So put 10 in a group, and then they should come up with any Ghanaian product or service of their choice. You identify the target market, remember universal set, and then find 5 different target audiences. So the subsets, 5 different target audiences. It's nothing big. So 21st February, I expect all the groups to have submitted it to my TA's email, and I'm sure the class rep would provided for you. And then the second assignment is also on the 21st of February 2021. Now, you're assuming you are the new media planner for Brawl Ghana Limited. If you know Brawl Ghana, they are the ones who manage the malls that we have in Ghana, well, a lot of the malls we have in Ghana. And then they're also into real estate management and sales and all those things. Now, read more about Brawl. Now, because you are the new media planner for Brawl, develop two buyer personas for your company's residential properties at airport residential area. So you are developing two buyer personas, two types of people who, just like I did with the buyer persona example earlier, but with the perfume, do so with Brawl. But you are looking at, they sell or lease or rent residential properties. So when I say residential properties, I mean houses that people live in, homes. So do a buyer persona for people who would want to purchase their homes that are situated in the airport residential area. The deadline is 21st February 2021. It's the same groups, so they are doing two assignments. I am not taking any assignment after 21st of February. And I have put the assignment inside this video so that if you and your class reps have not been listening or watching the video, hoping that maybe a semester never be here, watch everything together and go and write the exam, then you will be there. So there you have it. In conclusion, I earlier said that I would differentiate target audience from media audience for you. The target audience, as we have discussed, these are the people you would want to, the specific people among your target market that you would want to reach out to. So in this example, the target audience for a baby monitor, baby monitor, I've given a lot of baby examples. Interesting. Baby monitor. So if you have a baby monitor, that is this small screen that sometimes it's a video device, sometimes it's just a sound recording device like a Motorola or a phone, what that they place in the child's room. So when the child starts crying, wherever you are in the house, you can hear from the monitor that the child is crying, and then you go and pick up the child. Sometimes use a video so you can see that, oh, the child is in the court, or you see that the child is trying to get out of the court, and then you run to, hey, stop, behave, that kind of thing. It's what we call a baby monitor. So let's say you sell baby monitors. Your target audience, adults 25 to 49 years old who have had a child in the past year. So let's say it's your target audience. But your media audience will differ from your target audience. Your media audience, you're now looking at the media and the kind of audience that media platform attracts. So the target audience is the kind of people your product is for, or you are hoping your product to attract. But the media audience is the type of people that media platform attracts. So that's the difference. So there's a difference between a target audience and a media audience. Sometimes you may find a media audience that is exactly like your target audience. That one, if you find this, you have top lotto. Means that these people there, when I put the ad here, they are bam, I'm setting to make sales. But sometimes too, the media audience may be more often than not is broader or narrower than what you have as your target audience. So you would have to decide whether you would like to use that media or not. So an example is a media audience may be adults who may be 24 to 49. Maybe they are college educated, have an annual household income of more than 50,000 cedis. Now, this information I've put here, in Ghana, it is difficult to get such information about media audience, like TV. When you go outside, a lot of companies do that research. So they can tell you that this radio station, the listenership is these kind of people with this kind of salary range, blah, blah. But over here in Ghana, we often do so a lot of media houses, when you ask them their listenership or viewership, they will give you some information, but not all of them is based on research. Sometimes you just feel, oh, city, a Cambrofo, so it's people who have gone to school. Yes, but it's not too specific. So it sometimes does not help you as a media planner in getting the exact kind of audience for your target, exact kind of media audience for your to match your target audience. But all in all, if you are looking for baby monitor is a product that a lot of educated people will be using. So if your target audience is adults 25 to 49 who have had a child in the past year, and a media audience is also adults 24 to 49, or maybe all adults who are college educated, you can decide, I'm in fan is high. And then you use that media platform. So, as I said, you see the next bullet says their use of the media may differ. Who are we talking about? We're talking about our target audience. Their target audience, their use may differ from media audience. So maybe you may say your target audience is adults 25 to 49, but inside that adults of 25 to 49, there are those who like social media, there are those who like radio, there are those who like TV, there are those who like newspapers. So you realize that your target audience may all not have one favorite media platform. So you would have to decide which media platforms they are likely to enjoy, and then you spread your advertisements over those media platforms. And as I earlier indicated, they may be more or less precise than target audience. The day over here is I'm talking about media audience. They may be more or less. So you take YFM, they say they are for the young and younger heart. So you look at their programs, the kind of people who come on their shows, the kind of things that they have. It gives you an idea of the people who will be interested in such a such a radio station. So if you have a product that is targeted at that niche, then you know that okay, YFM will be the best media platform for me. You understand? Aha. So that is the target audience and media audience difference. Just in case you come across it, you know the difference. So please, if you have any questions, don't forget to type them in the comment section on YouTube. And please remember to use the platform, the school's platform, to have the forum, the questions that I put there for discussion on the forum. Please take part in them, and I will see you soon.